Right, here's all the owners out at the auction. And we're just about to watch the horses.
Come on, Elizabeth 250 out in front. Come on, show me that shot.
Nick's going to say a few words.
He's going to be sold out in front. And the 250 now. He's going to be sold out in front. And 250,000 on the market. I sell him. He's a great colt. At 250,000, he's just going to run. I sell him in front to Chris for 250.
Okay guys, here we have the Schnitzel filly
Angus Gold.
out of the mare called Typing, just on the hard.
Seat field Gold. First foal, a 3-time winning mare.
You have to bear with us a little bit because these two horses weren't over in these boxes. They were spread throughout. We brought them over here, so it's a little bit of a new parade from them. They haven't paraded here. But so my name's Mick Malone. I head up the Bloodstock team. And that entitles coming to the sale, looking at every single horse in the whole sale, and then just evaluating the ones that you like, and then breaking it down to whether you can A, afford them, and B, they suit what we're trying to do, which is obviously get 2-year-old speed horses that hopefully make it here next year. We nearly did it this year with a couple, but it just didn't sort of plan out. But that's racing, guys. It's just how it falls. Really, really nice filly this by Schnitzel. Schnitzel stands for just short of $200,000 in service fee. And we paid $300,000 for this filly. We paid really good money that gives everyone an opportunity to get into a horse that they would have never ever had before. And then be trained by a trainer like Chris Muntz, who gives it every single possible chance. What I like to see in the filly is just a really big hip. So that hind leg, you want to see lots of depth. I like to see them with a set down the back. Short little counters of that first bone, good strong forearm, and a good action which she has.
687, 688, sale ring please.
Now the stakes for the ladies and gentlemen,
She's out of a mare that was a very fast 2-year-old. She ran the first 2-year-old race over 900 metres. It was very sharp. But the thing about her, she's not just a fast squibby filly either. She's got good length, stands over a lot of ground. So to me, that steads her in a good position later on to not just be a 2-year-old, but maybe go on and be a nice 3-year-old. So she's got a lot of growing to do. And as you'll see, she walks just walks there. You like to see the hind leg overstep her front foot. So if you make a little mark where her front foot lands and watch her hind leg step over that, that's just a sign that she's going to really move well. We can't see them gallop when we buy them as yearlings, but you can certainly see them athletic and walking well, and you'll see she does that. The next filly we'll bring out actually walks differently to this filly. This filly walks a bit sharper, which is something you see in really 2-year-olds going to get going early. The other filly, albeit she'll still probably be a 2-year-old, but she's a lot looser in her action. We have, we look at these fillies. I saw this filly maybe 4 times before we decided to purchase her. We have the vets go over her, so every horse has 38 x-rays, so every joint is x-rayed, so 38 x-rays that our vets go in and meticulously go through and look and make sure that there's no little problems there that could affect us later on. And we're forgiving with some things, but not like knees and high joints. We want to see really clean x-rays. We don't want any, because the lower the joint, the less chance you're having a little bit of a problem. She was crystal clean, had nothing wrong with her. We also checked their throats, which is called scoping, just to make sure they've got a nice big windpipe, so they can get heaps of air in. Thoroughbreds have a lot of trouble with throats. They can, but hers was beautiful, scoped up lovely. Look, just a really nice, lovely filly by Schnitzel, who, like I said, he serves 200 mares a year at nearly $200,000 a cover. And to get, you guys get an opportunity, $300 to be involved with a filly like this for however many shares you buy. It's a great opportunity for racing, and it's to see everyone turn out here today is just terrific. I don't know if you've got anything to say, Steve.
Maybe you could talk about a Schnitzel filly that you bought.
Yeah, I've had a bit of luck buying Schnitzel fillies. I bought a filly called Schnitzelin, who was a Group 1 winner. She ran second in the Golden Slipper. And I also bought another filly called Egret, who was a really good 2-year-old listed winner. Smooth Landing, who was another stakes horse. So we've had a bit of luck buying Schnitzels. And for mine, it's that sort of shape they want to be. She's I don't know, it's just, I love her head. She's got a really raw, tough eye on her. I love her action. She just uses herself really well. And if you look at it now, there's so much development to do. You'll see her in 6 months' time and you wouldn't believe it. She's just in a really good set to go forward and become a quality filly, you know. And out of it, like she's out of a young mare too, she's not having an old mare, and often you do see a mare's best foals of their first 2 or 3. So it's a good thing to see that as well. Good feet, she's got really good feet. Soundness is a big thing with race horses.
Thank you.
Obviously, you want them to be sound. You know, we're in the hands of God, so it's one of those things. You just got to keep throwing darts, and eventually you get a fast one. But also, you're buying quality horses with a bit of shape and soundness from good farms. Like Newgate's a really, really high-profile farm. There is, well, I don't know if anyone's been watching here, China Horse Club and Newgate have bought probably $12 million worth of yearlings. That's the sort of quality of mare they have on their farm. They sell stakes horses up to stakes horses up their farm. A lot of farms don't produce good racehorses, but Newgate are renowned for doing it. And yeah, that's my spiel on this fella. I don't know if you feel good. We'll just have one more walk the proper way. How do that? She let you off. Pressure on these young horses, you know, they've come from the paddocks of Scone into an environment like this. Thanks. All good. Into an environment like this, and that's another thing that's really important. You want to see horses handle things well, and that filly was down in X Block. She's come over here an hour and a half ago, and then she's walked somewhere she's never walked before quite well. Let's hope the next filly does the same. But if they don't, you can't knock them for it because there's a lot of pressure, you know.
So that was the second filly that we've bought this week. Racing Queensland have partnered miRunners in a mainstream ownership initiative in Queensland. There's a few things going on with miRunners, which we're pretty excited about. The first horse we bought with Racing Queensland is this filly that's coming through. It's a pretty good story, this one, because we didn't think we'd get it. Mick was, from the moment I got here, saying we have to buy this filly. But he said, I don't think we'll have enough. We thought we'd have to pay $300,000. And she got knocked down early. It was very early in the sale. I think we were a bit lucky there.
No doubt we were there.
It was
Hello, Billy.
first days off, and everyone's a bit cautious. And we were a bit lucky. We bought it for $160,000. So she'll be on offer. She'll be the first horse to go on offer next week at 176. So we AGST to 160. So she'll be offered at $176 a unit, and will be trained by one of Queensland's best, Robert Heathcote. Over to you, Mick.
Okay, so this was the first filly we bought. She's by Rick Tycoon. Terrific stallion, capitalist. He's just been a stallion that constantly produces horses in Australia that run. She was probably the... What's that? What's that?
Stand here.
I can't see you. Would you rather me walk or just stay in the middle and talk?
I'd prefer you to stand
Sorry,
in the middle.
I just don't know if anyone can hear me, that's all. So, Written Tycoon filly, I think she was probably the third horse I saw when I came, and I just wrote in my book, FM, I write NFM if I don't like them, which is not for me, or not for Mick, and I write FM if I really like them for me. I never usually write it on my first comment, but I wrote it the minute I saw her because I just loved her. I love the way she uses herself from a nose right through to a tail. She just gets her hind legs right up underneath her. When you see her walk, just a walk, Billy, when you see her walk, she walks a bit differently to the last filly. She's sort of like, you like to see them walk like a Jamaican. I know it sounds crazy, but they really drop her head, and she just uses them. Every part of her body's moving, you know. And that's how I love to see a filly walk. Often it means they might not be quite that early, but you're going to have a filly that, and being by Written Tycoon out of this family, she will definitely go early, but she just might get a bit more longevity as far as a 3 and 4 year old goes on. But
That's what we're really looking for, to give people a good time for a long time. If things don't work out, we'll wind it up. We're not going to drag things on. But that's the idea, that hopefully they get a couple of years racing out of it and give them every possible chance to not only do well as a 2-year-old, but also as a 3 and 4-year-old.
And like out of Reduced Choice Mare, Reduced Choice is a broodmare sire. Second to only Zabeel as a broodmare sire. It's phenomenal cross, the Written Tycoon, Reduced Choice. We bought it from a farm, Ron Gilbert, who lives up at Toowoomba. She was born and raised at Toowoomba. Ronnie Gilbert is without doubt one of the best breeders in Australia. He spends absolutely months on his matings. He just puts so much time and effort into it, and he's had huge success. Like he's stakes winners to runners off his places like 12%, which is unheard of. You know, he only has about 25 mares, and he just is constantly looking for the best mating. And he tells me this is up there with one of his better matings, rightly or wrongly. Again, you never know till you go, but when they look like this, you buy from great farms. 160,000. I honestly thought we wouldn't get her, but I think it was Ron who sold her was pretty much devastated that she didn't make 300 because he thought she would. But he's a good breeder and he just put her on the market thinking the market would take her. And when we bought her, we've wrapped to get her that money. So I love her. Funnily enough, Ronnie told me that she had no grey fleck up until 2 months ago, so she was fully chestnut. And they call it something, I've forgotten what they call it. There's a special colour. It's not flea bitten, it's something like that, but they call it something like flea bitten, or it's some sort of name, but she's slowly going to have that. She'll probably be more and more chestnutty grey. It's sort of like a roan, but she's got a great temperament again, like these fillies. She was over near the sale yard, never been out here before until you guys turned up. And that's what I want to see them doing, because they'll go to the races, they'll go to the trainer, and they'll be doing this. There's no fight, you know. So that's why I look at them 3 or 4 or 5 times, and sometimes I just sit near the stables and just watch them and see how they react to different things over different grades. And she never turned her hair. She's tough. Like one of the guys that led us said, she bit him pretty hard. Like she's tough, but she's got a good attitude towards life, and that is so important. You know, I've got a fair bit to do with Black Caviar. I must say, her attitude and her temperament is care about nothing. She just does not care about anything. Trees can fall over, she won't jump. She's just very laid back. And that's why they conserve their energy and they use it when it's important. But the Written Tycoon filly, the Reduced Choice mare, bred by a great farm, and I'm wrapped to have her, and I'll be buying shares in both of them, but I especially love this filly. She's a beauty.
Any questions from anyone about either of the fillies?
What numbers were they got?
170. This one was 170. And 249.
So the other one's going to
We haven't announced
he just covered away. We vetted them and both X-rays and scopes. Scope very well. Like I said, buying from good farms like Ronnie, if there was something wrong with her, certain farms may bring them, but Ronnie wouldn't. Ronnie's just a great breeder. He's in it for the long haul. He was actually going to come over and have a chat, but he had to sell one, so he wasn't around. But he's a terrific guy and a great breeder, and isn't he, Steve? Like he's everything you want to be involved in racing, because he's successful, humble, and loves the game. And he's not, like, he doesn't go and put crazy reserves on him. He just puts what fixed value, and they usually go and sell right to the roof. We just got her a bit early and everything went well. And the other thing about this sale, day one, the market was quite. It was obviously hot for those bigger horses, but it was a bit soft for this because there's a lot of nice horses this year, and I think everyone who was bidding were aggressive because they knew they had another one they could fall back on. And Written Tycoon in particular had 50 yearlings in this sale, which is the highest consigned stand at the sale. So when she was a bit early in the Written Tycoon sales, I think people just thought, oh, geez, we might wait for one, you know, and that's how we fell on it. But you know, look at her hind leg, look at her strength. And you talk about overstride, so where a front foot lands and where a hind leg finishes, steps right over the top where a front foot is. If you make a mark where a front foot is, watch a hind leg follow over it. And it overstrides a good, 2 foot.
180 out back. 180 out back. 180 out back now. Give me 10. 180, give me 10. 180 now out back. 180 there now. 180 down on the other 180 down on the other 180.
Maybe 3 or 4 stands along here and
180
everyone
now.
got a good look.
And 180 and I sell.
I know prize money is not really why we're doing this, but there is a great race series, as you know, which is the Magic Millions race series, which both these fillies are qualified for. We'll pay them up. So that's not just the 2-year-old race next year. There's a fillies and mares race. There's a maiden. There's so many races. I think there's $6 million races on Saturday, and these guys are all qualified for it. So it's all part of the fun. But I can guarantee you, if we're here next year or the year after those races, you won't be worrying about the prize money, the excitement of being involved of the day.
But the other thing is too, Steve, is they're residual. You know, they're fillies with a pedigree. So when they all finish racing, like because you're buying at this level, they're not finished and they go for nothing. Fillies like this, you know, they go through a broodmare sale, and the breeders want to buy them. You know, so it's not just. So in some ways, you're buying residual value when you buy fillies of this pedigree. And the other thing is, the mare has I don't know if everyone remembers Piero. So the mother has a Piero foal at the foot, I think a colt, and she's back in foal at Piero. So with fillies, often those families help you. You know, the Piero might say this filly doesn't come up as we'd hoped. The Piero might win a stakes race, and that makes her worth more. So it's all about just getting into good families. Again, you never know where they're going to come from, these good racehorses. But when you play at this level, your chances are a lot higher, and residually, you're a lot easier to get out of them.
Bidding of 70,000. Boys out back.
Good work, Billy. Thank you, mate. You all right, Mick? Everyone all right?
Done, everybody?
Thank you.
You even handle that. Thanks, mate. Did you learn anything? Yeah. Tane, did you learn anything? Tane, do you want to have a chat? Tane, do you want to have a chat? You know where she is?
Actually, that's it, guys.